Hey everybody, it's Peter. It's Thursday night, which means it's time for the Orville. And tonight was episode 10, Firestorm. This is going to be totally spoiler free. I'm not really going to do a total review, just a couple of story nitpicks. The rest I'm going to leave to you guys because I want you to watch it. Because when I watched this episode, I thought, like, oh, it's going to be this, oh, it's going to be that. Or like what the fans have been doing lately too with people on Facebook and stuff, like, oh, wouldn't it be neat? Or with Disco, hey, wouldn't it be neat if Q showed up, or could we have so and so show up? And I'm just like, why can't we have these shows stand alone? This is a standalone show, no leaning on any Star Trek canon, or like, oh yeah, like that's from that episode or that's from that episode. So I thought it was really good. And this episode is actually centric on Alara, which is good because a lot of the other episodes, like we had a Clara episode, we've had a Borders episode, so we're getting into character development, which is really, really good. I'm just going to tell you how it starts off. I'm just going to make a couple of quick comments on it, but I'm not going to like say like, oh, this is what happened, that's what happened, because I was watching this and I was going like, that's going, no, wait, oh, it's not. And then at the end of it all, it's just like, oh, I wouldn't. I have thought something part way through, and maybe you'll think the same way. We'll talk about it in the comments, like after everybody's seen it, and come back to the channel. Leave your comments down below. Again, if you're new, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the notification button, and let's talk about this for a bit. This is the first nitpick anyway, but the episode ends up with the ship going through some kind of ion plasma storm. We don't know. The weird thing is, I thought about it after, why did the ship end up in this, other than, hey, can we make it through? And everybody's doing the whole, doing the Star Trek shake as we're going through. Okay, that's the only thing, it was the Star Trek shake going through this. But they're flying through this storm. Because this iron storm they're going through is really rocky, it's literally tearing the ship apart. And we have an incident down in engineering where a bulkhead falls down and it lands on a crew member. They can't move it, so the chief says, hey, get Alara down here, help us with that. So she goes racing down to engineering. She's just about to go over to the guy where he's stuck and help him out, and some flames erupt from whatever, broken conduit, that kind of thing, and it freaks her out from it. So she's frozen, like, oh, okay. So you figure, okay, trauma, something happened to her one time, she's scared. That freaked her out, which caused her to like momentary lapse. By the time she gets to the crewman, another piece of bulkhead falls down, and unfortunately, the crewman is killed. We have a bit of a eulogy after, and it's really freaking Alara out. She wants to be taken off duty, talks to the captain. The captain's like, no, stuff like this happens. He knew when he put on his uniform that, going out in space can be a dangerous thing, and this is what you signed up for when you're in the planetary union, and things can happen, accidents will happen. Like, don't blame yourself, this could happen. She said, well, if I didn't have panicked, then maybe not, or whatever. And then everybody else is trying to help her. Kelly's trying to help her. Claire's trying to help her. And she's just saying, like, get over it, but not in the bad way. Like, don't dismiss, the death in a bad way. But, these kind of things happen in this line of work. So they finally sit down. She's like, yeah, something must be wrong. Why is she afraid of fire? What Claire just, I think it's between Claire and Kelly both say, well, why don't you talk to your parents? Maybe something happened to you when you were a kid. Some kind of traumatic incident that you freaked out by fire. So then we get to see her call her parents. I'm not going to say who. I knew who the father was. I'm not quite sure on the mother, but she is a well-known TV actress. I just couldn't tell because of the makeup, and I haven't seen that person in a while. I tried to Google it and look it up on IMDb, but it's not been updated yet who the actress who plays Alara's mom. So she talks with them, mentioned, yeah, when you were a little baby, you were like not even 1 year old, there was an accidental fire, but you seemed to cry, wake me up out of my little snooze that your mother accidentally fell asleep. And Alara as a baby cried and like woke her up and they got out of the house safe and sound. So maybe that was part of it. So the rest of the episode goes on with Alara trying to face her fears. So I'm going to leave it at that, because as the episode goes, there are these different types of fears popping up here and there. All sorts of different things. We'll say clowns as one of them. When I'm watching the rest of this, I'm like, okay, alien presence taking over, making everybody go nuts. People online wishing, hey, why can't Q or Trelane show up? Well, I thought maybe, okay, this is kind of a Q thing. Somebody's coming along and messing with everybody's heads. I will let you watch it and check it out. Come back when you saw it. Tell me what you thought. This was a really good episode, like I said, except for the opening nitpick of how the heck did the ship get into this storm? We don't know why. That wasn't explained. So that kind of bugged me a little bit. And the way the episode ended was sort of like, I'm like, oh, that's what the episode was about. But then the way they sort of wrapped it up, it was like super neat, super tidy, and super boring. I was expecting maybe, oh, okay, and this is, yeah, no, yeah, we got it all figured out, and have a nice day, and we'll see you. We'll see you next week. I'm gonna leave it at that because if I talk anymore, I'm just gonna talk about the episode, and I really, really don't want to spoil it because this so far, I've said other ones where I've said Into the Fold is pretty good, except for the annoying kids. I've never been a parent, and I've never seen. Actually, we do have some neighborhood kids that do run around and yell and scream and shout for no apparent reason. I'm just like, why don't you guys play and laugh and chuckle? Why are you like, ah? It's like, what? Are the monkeys loose from the zoo again? That's what I get in my neighborhood of some of the kids. And I loved About a Girl because I was going about the Mexican standoff. That's my favorite part. And where Bortus watches Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and figures out, oh, this is what I must do. Because if Rudolph had gotten his operation done to remove his red nose, he couldn't have saved Christmas. This is how a show should be. It should have you guessing. You should be going like, yeah, not like, oh, yeah, I got that figured out already. Who saw that coming? Oh, the world. Yeah, so this is really good. I recommend to watch it. I would even watch it again. So, leave it to you. When you come back, put down below. What did you think? Did you really like it? Was it a good episode? Are you like a super Orville fan already and this was just, icing on the cake? Or you're a skeptic like me and just like, yeah, I don't know just yet. But again, this was a good one. And this too, like I said, it was a good standalone. It didn't lean on Trek. It wasn't like leaning on older stories or picking, other Trek tropes. This was really good how it went. And then when, like I said, beautiful surprise ending, but it kind of ended flat. But it was interesting, like, oh, that's what the episode was all about. It's not, this is not that. It was that. Good to know. So anyway, that's it for tonight. We're going to keep it nice and short. No spoilers at all. And we'll see you again next week. I do want to do an overall one on Trek. My thoughts on just like what everybody's talking about, the two new series. What's Trek done for me, my Trek collection, what do I think about Trek, what do I think about these new shows, and I think I just want to put it out there like my thoughts. And I may be back on Sunday with more thoughts on all this craziness in the wonderful world of fanboys and sci-fi. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.